So back on the 84 Tour Glide, what I want to start to do today is update these controls. I've been asked a couple times why, and these, aside from the fact that they're really crusty, the controls are the one thing that you deal with not just visually, but also it's a tactile thing. You know, you actually are touching everything, and well, to be honest, I don't care for this as much. So what I did, I bought a kit that Harley Davidson makes. It is part number 70239-07 in black, which gives you these very nice updated 1996 to 2017 controls. And I'm going to match it with the mirrors and clutch handle, master cylinder, and brake lever from also the 96, basically something closer to 96. And to match my Fat Boy, these nice Performance Machine grips, Renthal rubber covered, which I love the feel of them. You know, one of the best things I did as far as the feel of the Fat Boy was to switch out to these grips, and the fact that it's got this control. So first steps, I think, because I've not done this before, although I have been studying the wiring schematics. I've looked at the schematics for 1984, 1996, and 2007 and up, 7 to 17, I think. So I've got a good idea that it should work, but that remains to be seen. So let's find out. First step I'm going to do is loosen up the handle here. Oh, and see if I can't get it a little bit out of the way. And I know this is attached with a hard brake line that is quite funky and is going to need to be replaced. But I want to get these loosened up and hopefully moved, yeah, just kind of like that, just to give me some extra room, because these controls, they are cut to length. They come with 60 inches of leads, so I want to get them fitted where they're supposed to be, more or less, run the wire, and then trim it to the appropriate length. So gotta get these controls off, figure out exactly what's going on, get this grip off, and start test fitting. Well, it looks like I have to do more than just loosen these controls, because the wire goes through. So I guess I have to at least temporarily fully remove the control so that I can get the wire free, because even though I'm not going to use this master cylinder and clutch lever in the long run, in the short run, I'd like to try to see if I can't get it fitted with what currently exists on the bike. Zip ties. Harley was a fan of zip ties. All right, so I wonder if I can get replacements for these. There were 4 on this bike. 2 came off, and the other 2 shot. But it'd be cool to be able to attach the new wires in the same fashion as the factory wires. So I'm gonna hold on to these for now. Let's get the instrument cluster out of the way for the moment too. I am thinking, since I'm gonna have to be installing Deutsch connectors for both controls, that I may do the same thing with this. I don't know if it's worth doing, but it can't hurt, and these are not weatherproof at all. So yeah, that's an option. So may be slightly more involved than I originally thought. So looks like the smaller lights, the fog lights, are fed off of the turn signal switch on this side, and on this side there's an extra wire. The upside is it looks like those wires are jumped internally in the plug. So those 2 are jumped and those 2 are jumped. This one, it looks like it triggers, I believe, the anti-dive valve, which if I get rid of the air suspension and just go to standard hydraulic, is a non-issue. But if I don't and I keep the air ride, then I have to keep that switch working. So that complicates things just a tiny bit. I'm gonna have to get this bar out of the way, at least raised up. I got to do the riser bushings too, so this is probably an opportune moment. Oh, here we go. It's probably an opportune moment to attempt to do those at the same time. You know, kill two birds with one stone and not really have to dig into this thing twice. Now, I'm uncertain how the risers go together on this. Looks like there's a nut underneath, but that makes me wonder if there's a bolt up top, which I guess we can find out in a second. Let's lift this up. No, okay, so no bolt. It looks like it's just, I guess, a threaded stud that could present the problem. Let's see if the nut comes off or if the stud tries to pull out, because that side looks funky. I guess we'll find that out in a little bit. But first, I'm gonna get these wires out of the way so I can figure out the length I need and start this process. So I'll snug these back for the moment, because I know I'm gonna need to take the controls on and off to do the Deutsch connectors. So I'm still gonna need to move this around in the meantime. So snug them, nothing crazy. I don't wanna, you know, damage anything going on and off too many times. It's old stuff. But still, a job needs to get done. Oh, all right. That'll do. You could see how much play is in the riser bushings. It'll feel much better once that's taken care of. I may have been getting ahead of myself, but I kind of wanted to see what this would look like attached with the grip. But old grip gone. So let's see if this thing will slide on. Probably should loosen those up. Yeah, this is what you get when you get a little ahead of yourself. I mean, I wanted to see what it looked like, and unfortunately now it has to come completely apart so that I can put it together with the wiring in the right locations. But still, it's a minor, I wouldn't even call it a setback, but just a minor inconvenience, let's say. And we can see, alrighty then. See, that's just going to be so much nicer. All right, let's pop this on and get an idea of what length we need. Oh yeah, that's so much nicer. That's going to feel so much nicer. And once I get the new master, I get it. There are some things that aesthetically I want to keep just the way it is. But the thing that I'm touching with my hands, I want it to feel solid and robust. And, well, honestly, these just don't. And they're in just poor condition. If I'm going to have to change it anyway, I was going with this style. More zip ties. And this is off. Let's see if this trick works. Hey, all right. Good sign. Nice thing about these performance machine grips is that they're just retained with these Allens. Little tiny ones, but surprisingly, they work actually really, really well. I've had zero issues with mine loosening up. I've had them shoot at least 10,000 miles on the Fat Boy. Now, once everything is lined up, yes, I will pop these off and put a little bit of Loctite on them. But for the moment, this is just for fitment purposes, and I may need to remove it. But yeah, I like that. I'm making some headway. Little things that just feel like big accomplishments, you know. Still a lot more to do. I don't want to, you know, cheer too much too quick. But so far, everything seems to be going together pretty good. Cool part about this kit is that it's designed to work for, I believe it was 96 to 17. And the reason that's cool to me is because in 07, I believe, they put a clutch safety switch in. And this one has it if you wanted to use it. It's 2 extra wires, and I don't know how I'd wire it up, but I'll probably run the wires in case down the road I want to see what I can do if I feel a little frisky. Yeah, this is it. All right. So far, fitment seems to be a non-issue. Obviously, the old master cylinder not going to work with the newer controls, which is fine because I wanted to update it. And also, who knows the condition of this master cylinder? So if I can change the master cylinder to brake lines, check the calipers, and I can be much more confident in the braking of this bike. Although I will say the brakes work all right. Same thing with the clutch side. Get the updated clutch lever, and it'll just have so much more of a clean, nice, tactile feel, while still having that classic 40-year-old Harley that's been abandoned for 20 years look, which I think is going to be awesome. So, okay, measure the wires, cut them, start doing the plugs. Also, the perfect time to replace the very well worn throttle cable and the non-existent broken idle cable. You can debate whether or not you need an idle cable. I get it, but that's what it was supposed to have, so I'm gonna put it together that way. Actually, it's not just a great time to replace these broken and worn out cables, but it's almost necessary because up to 96, the cable's threaded in, and there was threads in the housing for the controls. And starting in 96, which is when these controls are for, the cables just kind of popped in with a little spring clip. Now, I will say, you can put these onto this. You just have to tap it and they will screw in and they will work. I know that because I ordered the wrong cables for the Fat Boy when I had to replace them. I thought that the Fat Boy was a 95, and I got these cables, and I was stubborn, didn't want to send them back. So I took the housing apart, tapped both holes, fitted the threaded cables, been working just fine. So there's that you could do, or like I did this time, you know, learn from prior experiences, get the right cable, make everything work the way it's supposed to. For now, this is going bye-bye. In order to do this job, I did buy tools, which is always fun. So this is a crimper. It's supposed to be just for the Deutsch connectors, 14, 16, and 18 gauge, and a pick to, this is, I guess, assemble the connectors, and a whole bunch of connectors, all different cavities. I have, here's an 8-wire one, which is what I was thinking the instrument cluster might need if I was going to go that route. So we've got 4-pin, we've got 6-pin, which is what the controls are going to use, maybe. The right side control has 6 wires, the left side control has 8 wires. 2 of which I mentioned are not going to be used, but I might run them into an 8-wire plug, and then on the bike side simply put these plugs in case down the road I did want to use those extra wires, the clutch switch for something else, it would be a simple matter of popping the 2 wires into the connector, running them and doing whatever I wanted. So it's nice to have options, and you know, we go from there. I'll say I have not used this brand, these connectors, or these tools yet. So we're gonna find out together if they are junk or not. So pulling the cable out, I found another connector in here that is the same non-weatherproof plug. So I guess when I eventually get this off to go and check the neck bearings, snug them up, or do whatever I'm gonna do to them, I guess that'll be a good opportunity to redo this one, assuming this rat's nest of wires comes out all right. So keep in mind, everything that I got was from Amazon. And we all know what that means. Here's what I'm finding. It says to insert the terminal, then insert the wire. The terminal doesn't really want to go in. You have to squeeze the terminal a little bit to get it in place. Once I get it in, right, so I'm pushing it with my finger, I'm clicking it just a little bit to hold it there. Then I can put the wire in and crimp it. And then it seems to be pretty decent. So I've done 2 so far. These are the 2 wires for the clutch switch. So they're not the most relevant, but see, this is what I was concerned with, making a good connection. Well, I wonder if turning this up will help it crimp more. I'm gonna give that a try. Well, the number didn't seem to make a difference, so I'm gonna try again, because the other connector seems to be holding up really well. And yeah, I'm gonna say it seems okay. I'm gonna stick with 4 and continue to crimp the rest of these and try to put that plug together. So I think I'm getting the hang of this tool. The connector needs to be a little snug when it goes in and held in place. And then the wire goes in just barely past the edge. And then it's crimped. So it's a little awkward, but I guess you kind of get used to it. I don't know, this is the first time I'm doing Deutsch connectors. I think I might redo this one maybe, but it's making a little bit more sense now. Yeah, so I take the connector, squeeze it just a touch to get it to go in the tool. Once it goes in the tool, I squeeze the tool a touch to hold it. And then insert the wire, right? So let's hold the connector in place. Insert the wire just a little bit. And that's a good connection. Yeah, that's a good connection. Okay, now let's see if I can assemble the plug. So this is supposed to be super easy. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm gonna follow the 07 and later one, knowing that 7 and 8 I probably won't use. So pin 1 is supposed to be orange and white. It's supposed to be that I just stick this in until it clicks. Boom. All right, pin 1, orange and white. Yellow, pin 2. Let's see. We have a yellow and we have a yellow with black. But yellow is pin 2. So we stick that in until it clicks. It pretty much clicks. Pin 3, BE. What the hell? What is BE? I don't even know what BE is. Oh, yeah. All right, let's do it by process of elimination. Pin 4 is white, just solid white. So let's put pin 4 in. This way we can learn what BE is. All right. Pin 5 is white with yellow. White with yellow. I don't have a white with yellow. What am I supposed to do? I don't have a white with yellow. I have a yellow with black, pin 6. So we can do that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. 7 and 8. 7 is black with red. All right. And 8 is black. So I have 2 wires left. I have white with violet. So I'm going to guess white with yellow is white with violet. So that's pin 5. All right, we'll put it here. And BE, blue. It's the only color that's not listed. So BE, pin 3. So it's supposed to be that simple. And then you take the lock and you press the lock in place. And that's supposed to be it. There's your plug. Now, I've got to undo this plug in here, screwdriver, remove this wire, and try to put the opposite end of this plug onto the factory harness. Except that those wires are not going to match up in color, and I've got to do a little testing to see what wire is doing what. So let's do that, determine the wiring, and jot it down on this list and figure out what's going to go where, and then get it together. Okay, I'm committed now. I'm committed because here is the plug from the factory harness. Now, I've managed to figure out what every wire in this plug, the 7 wires, every wire does except for the green. So I've got brown, horn, blue, light power, green, power, unsure why, pink left turn, yellow low beam, white high beam, and orange is just normal power. That's your ignition. So green, power, for what purpose? I have no clue. I have no clue what purpose that one is. Although there is a wire that comes out of this the plug on the other side. It's an extra T, it's an extra wire that comes off right here. And let's actually see where it ends up. So it comes off of nothing for whatever reason. But it's jumped to the yellow wire. Yellow is low beam. Yeah. I'm really at a loss for the green wire, so I'm going to put it aside for the moment and see if something doesn't work when I wire everything else up. That sounds like a plan. Maybe not the best plan, but that sounds like a plan. Also, they had some, I'm not going to say weird wiring, but the power off of the circuit breaker and the lights circuit off the circuit breaker, they went up to the left-hand switch, and then another orange and blue joined them at the left-hand switch, I'm guessing to feed the right-hand switch or to feed other stuff. So I'm going to, in my opinion, correct that, because I'm going to run these directly to the circuit breakers, which is where they're supposed to get power from anyway. So I'm going to put these to the side for the moment, because I know these are the main feeds, and wire these in along with everything else here except for green, because I'm still completely uncertain what green is supposed to do. But maybe that'll come to me. I don't know. All right, I have the other receptacle clipped together. I didn't put the lock in yet, and there's 2 pins that I'm going to either plug or figure out what to do with. That's for those clutch wires. But what I want to see is if all of my diagnosis and pinning and checks and resistance checks actually worked out, and that I pin these things the proper way. So I should be able to clip this together, which is it's nice. That's how it'll go in there. And if I did it right, at least for the left side, when let's see, I have low beams, I turn the lights on, well, I turn the ignition on, I should have lights to start with. So I have lights. If I hit the high beam, I should have high beam. All right, look at that. Low beam works. High beam. I won't have these, I didn't wire them yet, but at least I got that part of it right. All right, so let's see, turn signal. If I hit the turn signal, this should flash. Or if I hit the turn signal, this should light up. Okay, why it's not flashing, I don't know. I gotta look. The instrument cluster's not in. I don't know if that extra light causes it to flash or if the flasher is just shot. But the bag light comes on too. All right, final test for the left side. Does the horn work? The horn works. All right. Hallelujah. That's one side. That's done. Okay. Confidence inspiring. Can move on to the next side. Whew. I like it though. I like it for sure. I'm going to, I think for now, I'm going to plug those two. They come with, the kit comes with these white plugs. So I'm going to pop two of these plugs in, pop the lock in, and the left side controls are done. Mostly, sort of, I think. Pretty sure, relatively confident. I'll continue. But yeah, left side controls at least are wired up right. So that's a win. Let's check why this green wire has power. And the only thing I can tell you is the green wire is connected to the orange wire somewhere up in this harness. And it went back into the left turn signal switch. So I'm gonna take a look at that old switch, see if I can't figure it out. But as of right now, I don't see a purpose for this green wire. So I'm gonna tape it up, I'm gonna leave it there, but I don't see a purpose for it. I think this is one of the things I'm noticing with Harley wiring back then. They ran a lot of wires for I shouldn't say no particular reason. They ran a lot of wires that didn't necessarily have to. They could have been more direct. I'm wondering if that's what was going on here. So I think tape it up, leave it in there for now until either some sort of problem presents itself where the green wire explains it, or someone else can explain it to me in the comments maybe. I don't know. But that's where the green wire is getting power. It's getting power from the orange wire, which is the main power circuit, main circuit breaker for ignition on this motorcycle. So we'll go from there.